When you're building a voice assistant, you may find situations when you want to rely on your own server instead of using tools like Make. In this video, I will explain why having your own server could be beneficial, and I will walk you through the steps of setting up a custom NodeJS server and connect it to Vapi. When it comes to extending Vapi's functionalities, you typically have two options. Number one is using your own server, and number two is using an automation tool like Make.com. If you're working with larger clients, the chances are high that you will need to implement a custom server solution. First of all, it gives you a lot of flexibility and control over the code, which makes it an ideal choice if you want to go beyond the no-code tool's built-in functionalities. For example, if you're running a call center, you can build a custom assistant that has access to a customer's entire call history and provide a personalized service before connecting the caller to a live agent. Reason number two of using your own server: scalability. For high-traffic applications like customer service servers, a custom server allows you to distribute the load across multiple servers and manage traffic spikes more effectively. This ensures that your server won't crash or slows down when traffic spikes unexpectedly. Number three is security. For larger companies, security is a main concern. They usually handle sensitive data and have a very strict way of handling them. For this reason, they prefer keeping their data off third-party services to maintain more control over it. In this video, I want to show you how to set up a Node.js server, and just to give you an example, we are going to build a very simple application that can check the status of customers' orders. Let me show you a quick demo of how it works.
Hey, this is Kate. How can I help you?
Hi Kate, I would like to check the status of my order.
Could you please provide me with your order ID?
My order ID is 1002.
Just a sec. Your order status is shipped. If you have any more questions or need further assistance, feel free to ask.
I think it's pretty awesome. I will guide you through how to do it, and by the end of this tutorial you will have a working Node.js server that you can expand for more advanced cases. So let's get started. I put the GitHub link in the description. If you open it, you will see that the repository has two branches. On the Vapi node order checker branch you can find the final project, but to start off we will be using the main branch. After you cloned it, let's open it in our code editor. When you have the project open, you will see that I initialized the Node.js server using Express. We are only going to run it locally, so our host will always be localhost, and we will run it on port 8080. I created a webhook endpoint which will use a callback that's going to handle all incoming data. In the webhook handlers we are checking the type of the message. I only added a tool call because that's what we will be using, but you can add other types such as status update or end of call report. The tool call handler will be responsible to trigger the proper calls. As you can see, we only have the check order status, but if you add more tools, this is the place where you need to include that. If you go into the check order status function, you will see that it's empty at the moment. Before writing any code, we need to run the server on our computer, and according to the documentation we need to use ngrok, which will create a tunnel between a public URL and their local host. This is necessary because Vapi can only send data to URLs that are accessible on the internet. The first thing we need to do is install ngrok using the command brew install ngrok. Once the installation is complete, let's go to ngrok.com and create an account. Once you completed the sign-up process, go over to the Your Out token tab and let's copy the command which will configure your token on your machine and paste it in the terminal. Then go back to your token, copy it, and override the Your Out token part. After we did that, let's run ngrok http 8080. And that will start a tunnel that will point to our local host. And finally we need to run our node server locally. We can do that by clicking the dev script in package.json. And now our server should be running. To test it out, let's set up Vapi. So head over to the Vapi dashboard and create an assistant. Once you have that, add the first message. Hey, this is Kate. How can I help you? Then paste the prompt I created. I will link it in the description. Then we need to add a new tool. We need to select the custom tool, and for the server URL, paste in the URL that ngrok provided us. Click save, then go to the next page. We are going to create one property. The property will be the order ID. And let's add the description. The order ID that the user provides to check the status of the order. For example, the order ID should be in a format of 1001 or 31252. Don't include any space between the numbers. The name of the tool will be check order status, and it will checks the status of the order. Once we created our tool, don't forget to go to the Functions tab and add our tool. Now let's see if the data goes through by calling our assistant.
Hey, this is Kate. How can I help you?
Hi, I would like to check the status of my order.
Could you please provide me with your order ID?
My order ID is 1001. Cool, we received the data. You can see that we have the tool's name and we can also see the order ID. Next, we need to give functionality to the tool. I've set up a Google Sheet that contains orders. What's important for us here is the order ID and the order status. We will compare the order ID that Vapi sends to our server, and we will send back the related order status. To get started with the Google Sheets API, we need to enable it on Google Cloud Console. Select APIs and Services. Click on Enable APIs and Services. And let's find the Google Sheets API. Then click on Enable. Then let's go to the credentials page and let's create a service account. Give the account a name. I will call it Vapi Server. Create and continue. Then we can click on Done. Now let's open the service account settings and create keys so that we can authenticate our account. Click Add Key and select Create New Key. We will need a JSON file, so let's just click on Create and it will immediately download your JSON file. So let's move that to the root of the project. Once we add that, there is one more thing we need to do. If we go back to the credentials page, we need to copy this service account email and share the sheet with it. Now that we set up everything with Google Sheets, let's start writing our tool function. Let's create a try-catch block because we will handle an API call inside. Create a credentials path. This will point to our Google credentials.json. Then we need to parse the JSON. To authenticate the user, we need to do const out new Google out.google.out, and we will pass the credentials, and the scopes will be googleapis.com/out/spreadsheets. Then let's create an instance of our sheet. We need to apply the authentication. Then we can call the Google Sheets API. For the spreadsheet ID, let's go back to our Google Sheet and copy the ID from the URL. The range here will be the sheet name we see at the bottom. Now let's try calling our agent again to see if we get any response from the API.
Hey, this is Kate. How can I help you?
Hi Kate, I would like to check the status of my order.
Could you please provide me with your order ID?
1001. It successfully fetched our sheet. Now we need to find a row that has the same ID we provided and return the status of the order. I'm going to paste in a code snippet that handles this logic. So what we do here is we get the position of the order ID and the order status columns. Then we are looping through all the rows and finding the proper one based on the order ID. And if there is a match, we are just returning the status of the order. Let's call the agent one more time.
Hey, this is Kate. How can I help you?
Hi Kate, I would like to check the status of my order.
Could you please provide me with your order ID?
1001.
The status of your order is currently pending. If you need any further assistance, let me know.
Thank you. As you can see, it works perfectly. Now you have a working Node.js server integrated with Vapi. I hope this tutorial was helpful. With this setup, you can easily expand your server's functionality by adding more tools or analytics about your calls. If you like this tutorial, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more contents like this. I've also linked the GitHub repository and all the resources in the description below. If you have any questions or run into any issues, just leave a comment below. I will do my best to help you out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.